Incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect, and I'm into this game, yeah, we'll be into this, yeah.
And we arrive here in the Maverick Center, here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Folks, what a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Harry on the top. Right hand from my boy, double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Level 3 has begun. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency, the Pistol Players, the Hustlers, the people that bust them, and everybody else in between. San Diego have taken a 2-0 lead. We're in the top of the 9th inning right now, and there's 2 outs, so they're about to finish this game off. But Pittsburgh do have a runner on second base. We're still scoreless in the Bay, middle of the 9th inning right now. Unbelievable. Both teams have 3 hits. Braves and Giants still scoreless. Meanwhile, Arizona have come back to take a 5-4 lead on the Colorado Rockies. We're also in the top of the 9th inning, and there's 2 out there as well. So 2 big favorites who were down most of the night have come back and taken the lead. San Diego and Pittsburgh were tied all night. We're scoreless. Colorado were up on Arizona, and meanwhile, we're still scoreless here with the Braves and the Giants. We were talking some NFL football with George Kurtz and Cam Stewart. NFL preseason football resumes on Thursday night. Like I said earlier, I don't really understand why they didn't have Monday Night Football tonight. We often have Monday Night Football in the preseason, and we don't either next week for whatever reason either. Thursday night, we got the Philadelphia Eagles and the New England Patriots. The Patriots are minus 2.5-point favorites. Somewhat of a surprise, that number. Obviously, research needs to be done to find out what the plans are. It used to be very simple in the old days. Right, and you know, when there were 4 preseason games, it was the pattern was laid out. The first game, they didn't care. The second game, the starters played a little bit, but not much. The third game, the starters played the first half. The fourth game, nobody played, nobody cared. Right, there was a pattern to it. But now that there's only 3 of them, the coaches all have different plans for it. Some of them don't care at all about any 3 of them anymore. Some of them will actually care about the third one, and then there's a little bit of a bye before the season starts. So it's not a one-size-fits-all kind of like it used to be, which makes it a little bit trickier, to be honest. And if you look at the point spreads, so just a quick check right now, the Patriots are 2.5-point home favorites over the Eagles, who just beat the Baltimore Ravens. Listen, the Patriots played the Carolina Panthers in week 1. My initial instinct here right now is why won't I take the Philadelphia Eagles here? All right. But like I said, we're still early in the week. The Atlanta Falcons. I took the Falcons and the under against the Miami Dolphins. We went 1-1. Atlanta lost the game. They got stuffed on the goal line late with Nate Rourke. Nate Rourke just got let go. Baltimore, normally a very good preseason team. They lost late 16-13. I would kind of lean Ravens here as of right now. The Bengals and the Bears. The Bears are laying 6 points right now. Anytime I see that type of number, though, in a preseason game, I'm looking for a reason I want to take the underdog. The Detroit Lions are getting 6.5 against the Kansas City Chiefs, but I don't think the Lions are a very good preseason team. The Lions are sort of just built for, they're building. They expect to be successful. But the Lions aren't a super deep team. They're a top-heavy team. They're a good team. They're a top-heavy team. But their backups aren't very good. It's not like they're loaded with talent and, oh, yeah, this guy's coming on and that guy's coming on. It's like, no, if we have injuries, we could get in trouble, actually. We're not very deep, but we're top-heavy. We're good at the top end. This is what happens when you pay everybody, right? Jared Goff, like everybody on that team pretty much has gotten paid and it's caught up to them now. And, I remember when Lion fans were very excited. Everyone's getting the contracts and everything is lining up, and it's true. And from where the Lions have been in past years, it's a great upgrade. But at the same point in time, now you got to win because you have no more money left. And number two, if these players don't deliver and or they get hurt, it's going to backfire quickly. There's a lot of hype about the Lions this year, and I'd like to buy into it, but I think there might be a little bit too much hype about the Lions. But the Lions are getting 6.5 points against a Chiefs team that got lit up by the Jags. The Chiefs are generally a pretty good preseason team. They will play Mahomes. Andy Reid historically has always won the dress rehearsal game. So like I said, is this going to be his dress rehearsal game and he's going to mail in the third game? We have work to do and research to do throughout the week. The Vikings and the Browns. The Browns are laying 3 points. The Browns were a trendy pick against the Packers this past week. I passed on that because the number just got out of hand. The Vikings could be a quarterback down here. J.J. McCarthy isn't practicing. He's got a knee issue coming off his debut with an interception and 2 touchdown passes. They won the football game 24-23. We were on them against the Raiders. I think the Raiders should be laying those points. Arizona at Indianapolis. The Colts are laying 3.5 points in that game. We talked earlier about the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are a bad preseason team. McDermott has never cared about the preseason, and they don't like to show anything, even though Josh Allen did start the football game. The Pittsburgh Steelers also didn't really play very well against the Houston Texans. I'm not in love with laying the 4 points, but being a Buffalo Bill fan, I told you all that the Bears were the play on Saturday. And I tell you now that I would not take the Buffalo Bills. So it would be like Pittsburgh or pass. Like I said, the Bills don't care. They're not a good preseason team. The New York Jets and the Carolina Panthers. I'm getting the feeling the Carolina Panthers just aren't a good team at any time of the year. Regular season, preseason. We're not going to find out about the postseason for a long time. But I'm sort of getting the feeling this team's in a lot of trouble, man. We'll keep our eye on this, actually. Listen, I don't want to lay 4 with the Jets, but Canales, the head coach of the Panthers, has been non-committal about Bryce Young. He's talked about, well, it could help to play him a little bit, but it might not matter at all. I almost get the feeling they're not going to play him in the preseason, which is almost concerning, in my opinion. But listen, we think the Panthers are going to be one of the worst teams in the National Football League, if not the worst team again in the NFL, along with the Patriots. Titans lay 1.5 to the Seahawks. Some tricky games this week. I can see the Titans caring more about the preseason. And we saw they beat the 49ers this week, 17-13. The Commanders and the Dolphins. This is a game I'll just throw out there, watching both these teams play this week. McDaniel, whatever, dude. Like, he's going forward. He's throwing the football and stuff. I'm not saying he's playing to win, but McDaniel's almost like, you know what, at least we'll entertain the fans and we'll play a high-scoring game. Like I don't think McDaniel wants to play in one of these 6-3 preseason games. He wants to make some plays and whatever. I could see the Commanders and the Dolphins going over the 37. Jaden Daniels looked really good. He looked very comfortable as well out there on the field for the first time. The Rams and the Chargers, a battle of 2 teams that really do not care about the preseason, right? We've seen this with Harbaugh. They got lit up by the Seahawks. McVay hates the preseason with a passion, and that's why the number is what it is. The Chargers -1. The odds makers are basically telling you make up your mind between 2 teams that don't care. Jags and Bucks, it's a Florida battle. They'll get after it a little bit. We talked about the big number. The Jags are laying 3 to the Bucks, but the big number, the Raiders laying 7 points to the Dallas Cowboys. And yeah, I know the Dallas Cowboys historically are not a good preseason team, but the Raiders were just laying like 5 earlier in the week, and it went down to 3 against the Vikings. They ended up losing 24-23. I would not be like, I would put it this way. I like the Cowboys plus the 7 right now. It's one of those, I don't care that Minshew and Aiden O'Connell are playing. I'll hold my breath and take the 7 points in a preseason game. Sunday night, we got the Green Bay Packers and the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are laying 7 points. The total is 39 in that game. We talked about it last week. The Broncos have a very healthy preseason quarterback situation. And a regular season's another story. But for the preseason, Jared Stidham has played and started football games before. Say what you will about Zach Wilson. The kid's got talent. He started games before. He's been in the NFL before. And Bo Nix is a very experienced college quarterback and started more college games than any player in NCAA history did. So the Broncos are that's the type of preseason. And I told you that last week. I said the Broncos have the ideal preseason quarterback situation. What happened? They put up 34 points in their football game. That's why they're laying 7 points in this game against the visiting Packers. But Packers just covered as big dogs against the Browns. And we got the Niners and the Saints. The Niners are another team that could care less about the preseason. The Saints are the play.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Rockhold. Right hand right back from Mike Perry. Could I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, we'll be into this,
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Folks, what a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Perry on the top. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form. Bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Level 3 continues. This is SportsRage. I am Gabriel Morency, Sirius XM Channel 159, SportsGrid Radio and Television Networks. We were talking NFL football, but let's get back to the diamond right now as the Atlanta Braves have taken a 1-0 lead in the top of the 10th inning right now. Sean Higgs steps up and in. It's the only game left right now, Sean. I don't know if you have any action on it. I actually do. I've got the Atlanta Braves. And Logan Webb had a no-hitter going for like 5 innings. But I believed in Chris Sale tonight, and, well, we'll see what happens. It's 1-0. San Francisco's still going to have their crack at this, but any action for you tonight on this game?
Nothing on this game because I felt it was easy to go under, right? You look at it with the two pitchers, you think, wow, easy under. But I couldn't get involved. The Braves have just been so poor putting runs on the board. You know, and Snell, he's going to go, what, 5+ every game? 2-hitter ball, wonderful, but it was a no-go for me. I ended up just losing. I had San Diego on the run line. They gave up running, top of the error in the top of the ninth to make it 2-1. Rough loss there. I had the Cubbies in a wild loser. And I had your Dodger total over 8 in that game. I went to 7. Could not get there. So I had a
rough night on the diamond
today. 1-3 on the diamond. It happens. What am I going to? You can't win them all. Back at it.
I thought the Dodger line. Listen, anytime I'm going to get the Dodgers a -110, I'm in. So I took the Dodgers tonight. Mookie Betts returned. He went deep. Ohtani goes deep. I played the Braves. I played the Blue Jays. And
the Yankees. Got to play the Yankees. There's no doubter.
No, I did. Like a public mark. I played a San Diego
really?
Yankee parlay. Yeah, because I was like, you know what? I'm going to be on the air. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't lay the price, but it was -110. So I was like, all right, Yankees in San Diego, -110. And at least it wasn't close. The Yankees got absolutely lit up tonight. And it's funny, we had a Yankee fan on earlier, and he's like, they're a disgrace, and, this team sucks. So listen, they've won 70 games, but when they lose, they seem to lose in, like, big ways somehow, the Yankees.
But all teams do that. I mean, we saw the Phillies lose 6 in a row bad. We saw that the Dodgers were slumping for a bit. Teams lose, and it's always the sky's falling. We've talked. Listen, my feeling on the Yankees is they need some pitching help. I'm not sold on that staff. I don't think they're going to go far in the playoffs. I mean, I worry about the lineup. Judge is having a great year, but that guy's a swing away from being on the disabled list for 3 weeks. But the
I'm
fact
not listening.
I was going to say the Orioles couldn't go get a closer. I think the AL's wide open, and Houston might come in and steal it from somebody. But the Yankees have as good a shot as anybody. Anybody can win the American League. I think I think they're all equal teams. They're all equally flawed, I should say.
We talked about it earlier, and I don't think the Yankees have enough to make it to the World Series. But like you said, they're going to be in the playoffs. But I think the value. You look, the Astros are like plus 550 right now. The Yankees and Orioles are plus 220. That's ridiculously low and not worth it for either of them. And the other dangerous one is Seattle, I think. You're getting plus 850 with Seattle. We know that Seattle can pitch. They're going to be able to, they'll be, playoffs are low-scoring games. They're used to playing in 2-1, 3-2, 4-3 style games. Yep. So I think Seattle are a dangerous team and not a bad bet at plus 850, along with Houston at plus 550. I know people hate the Astros, but it's almost by default. Like you said, they're all flawed.
Yeah, and why wouldn't you bet on a team like the Astros who've been there 6 straight ALCSs and their pitching's been so-so the last couple of years. Right? I mean, like they had the good dominant run a few years ago, but last year's team wasn't some super-duper pitching staff. You had a couple of young guys. I mean, Hunter Brown and J.P. France, and they were kind of gassed out by the end of the year. I mean, so you're looking at the Seattle 850. I think they had the best staff left in the league there. Who's got a better starter core than that? Who are you taking over that? Problem is they're hitting.
Well, people, that's the whole thing. People talk about their hitting, but Sean, when you get into the playoffs, though, teams aren't scoring. Teams aren't scoring 5-7 runs a game, right?
They're not even in the wild card right now, though. That's the problem. They're on the outside looking in right now.
It's a battle. So, as I stated, Chris Sale tonight, we were talking about the Cy Young Award. Man, 12 strikeouts. I didn't get to his box score because we were caught up in the potential no-hitter tonight. Snell had the no-hitter going again. This guy already had a freaking no-hitter recently. But Sale, 12 strikeouts tonight for Chris Sale. 7 innings. Unbelievable stuff. And I think he actually just wrapped up the Cy Young with this performance tonight. He was already the favorite coming in, but now I think it's not a wrap. There's still a month left, but we're getting close to it.
Yeah, short of him getting hurt or an epic blow up by him, who's going to overtake him? Wheeler? Maybe somebody on the Phillies? Maybe. I'd say nobody.
Yeah, well, Wheeler's the other guy, but like you said, the thing is, Sale, the comeback story, he's been around forever to be doing this right now. Like, you know what I mean? How do you
starts last few years.
12 strikeouts tonight, too. Damn. So that's serious. So Snell, 6 1/3 was all said and done, 2 hits. This guy's been on fire, too. 11 strikeouts for Blake Snell tonight.
Did you see the talk for him for, like, oh, he's a Hall of Fame guy, 2 Cy Young? A Hall of Fame guy. That's the first, like, he doesn't go, that's the only time he goes past 7 innings is on his no-hitters.
Who?
I mean, he's not a Hall of Fame.
Blake Snell?
No. You think he's a Hall of Fame?
No. No, that's crazy talk.
But the new nerd
He's a good
talk has it
pitcher.
up there. You know, these stat guys say, "Oh, he's a Hall of Famer. Look, he's fat." We might not see another 150 game winner. We won't see someone win 150 games as a starter.
Thing is, I don't understand with Snell is teams don't really seem to want him for whatever reason, which is bizarre.
Well, he's
like the trade deadline
right
right
now.
now.
For 2 months. The first 2 months
like
of
you
the year,
said,
the guy's not good. He's not good to start the season every year.
It's almost now only too that he's suddenly going deep in games. Always been that. And I remember when he was on Tampa and he complained, if you recall, it was in the playoffs. And so it was in the playoffs and he got taken out and he actually bitched a couple of times. And it was Cash, the manager, said somebody should show him the batting averages of the opponents when they see him for the third time in a game. And he said there's a reason why I take him out. And it was basically, 079, 200, then, 300 or whatever. And a lot of these pitchers get protected by that, right? There's a reason why they're taken out. It's not just load management of their arm. They know, listen, the third time around, he's going to get hit, but he's gotten better at it.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Rockhold. Right hand right back from Mike Perry. Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Folks, what a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Perry on the top. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double jab. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
This is SportsRage. I'm Morency. The Braves have just won the baseball game 1-0. So they're lingering right now in the wild card. And that was a big win for them tonight. These wild card standings. So now the Mets are going to be a game back, and the Giants just lost a game. And Sean, I don't think people really realize that. That kind of snuck up on everybody. That it's true. The San Francisco Giants are actually only now 2.5 out of a wild card spot.
Now you think why they held on to Snell and Robbie Ray and these guys. Maybe they thought we could make a push here. And here they are.
I don't think they did. I think it's accidental.
You think nobody? We were just saying off air, like nobody wanted Snell, like nobody wanted to sign him when he had a cheaper deal out there coming off of.
Well, remember coming into the year, no one signed him right earlier in the year. Even like people just don't want to give him the money.
He turned down what, $60 million from the Yanks, something like that. He turned down the Yankee offer. I remember. He said no to them.
Well,
and then
he keeps on delivering right now. He's been on freaking fire. So San Francisco are right there. St. Louis are still lingering. Cubs came in 3.5 back tonight. Hell, even the Reds are only 4 back right now.
I want the Cardinals will trade everybody at the trade deadline. That's a team. Break it up. I thought Soto was going to sign there for $600 million. Get rid of Goldschmidt. How are they 2 back with that team? That is like the old geriatric team. Sonny Gray, Lynn, Goldschmidt, Arenado. This is like everybody 34 and older. This is like an ARP meeting for this team, and yet they're in second place in that pathetic Central. I can't.
Well, it's the division.
Really, it's the Brewers. What is the Reds are 4 back? I mean, the Pirates were in it for a while and they've fallen off. That ain't no Centrals. It's the high. I think that's why the West came out, because they were playing a bunch of Central teams. They're just Pirates had lost like 7 in a row. The Cubs were in a slump for a month.
We've got a discount. Listen, I don't really believe in the Reds. And it's kind of sad the Reds are actually only 4 games out of a playoff spot. What are we doing here, right? This is what happens. I know.
Lodolo and Green are 2 solid guys.
That's good in a playoff
or
series.
Abbott, but Abbott as well, I should say, not Lodolo.
There's too many teams ahead of them. They're not going to be able to jump all these teams. I don't think San Francisco will keep this up. I would expect them to fade. What about the Mets? Do you think the Mets are going to end up making the playoffs? I'll say no.
No, I'd say no Mets. I would put the Giants as a better shot just because you have Webb and Snell and to a lesser degree Robbie Ray. I mean, you got pitching. We're just talking about Seattle Mariners with their pitching staff. This staff isn't all that terrible. They have a pretty solid bullpen, Again, where's the hitters for these teams? Why can't these teams find hitters?
Mariners have won 4 in a row, yet they're still 2 games out of the playoffs right now. They're in a real battle. If you look at the American League wild card picture, so the Yankees and Orioles are sort of flipping every day here or whatever. They're both at the top. But as it is now with the loss tonight, the Yankees are 4.5 up in the wild card. The Twins are 1.5 up in the wild card. The Royals are hanging on to the last wild card spot right now, a team that not a lot of people really believe in, but a hell of a year for the Royals. The Red Sox are lingering. Red Sox are lingering. They just won again tonight, man. They're 2 games back, along with the Mariners right now.
I want the Royals to hang in there.
No one thought the Red Sox would be a playoff team, though. Okay, it's just another one.
I thought the Red Sox would have the first manager fired. I thought that team was just a recipe for disaster. I was like, we're relying on Cutter Crawford and Bello and Tanner Houck and these young pitchers. The lineup had the talent, but again, it comes down to the pitching. And here they are. But,
you know what, though? If you look at the American League.
Baseball is such – you have no idea what's going to happen in baseball. I
said the same thing earlier.
It's crazy. It's so long, and then
all this talk,
runs
you get to the playoffs, Sean, there's a 5-game series. Anything can happen, right? It's
the Rangers in Arizona last year, right? Who saw that one coming?
Yeah, the series are so fast. Next thing you know, it's and I've said it before, it's a disadvantage to have home field in a 5-game series. But if you look at the American League, everybody is like mediocre. The last 10 games, Yankees 5-5, Twins 6-4, Royals 5-5, Red Sox 5-5. Seattle 6-4, Tampa 4-6. Like if anybody could just get hot and go on a run, they could really climb the ladder right now. And then and in the National League, it's like it's the opposite. Like the D-backs keep winning, San Diego keeps winning, the Dodgers are hot right now again suddenly.
Yep.
Big win for the Dodgers tonight because Arizona and San Diego are suddenly winning. They came in 3.5 back tonight, and they'll remain 3.5 back.
They needed that win in the bad way.
Mookie Betts made his return tonight and went deep.
setup here. Incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Folks, what a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Early on the top, right hand from my boy, double tap. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
So the Major League Baseball board is closed for the evening, like a stock market. It's done for the evening. The Atlanta Braves win 1-0. These games are all pretty big right now. We just talked about the logjam of all these teams, especially in the National League. Man, you got 8 teams that are sort of just all bunched in together. So these games do count right now. Looking at the overnight, seeing right now, I'm looking at one book. A lot of these games are actually off the board for tomorrow. No numbers up yet, but let me get a full slate up here. But we do have the Nationals and the Orioles tomorrow. The Orioles minus 165. Irwin versus Rogers here, Sean. Baltimore, another team that's, we just talked about it. They've been playing 500 baseball for about 2 months now, this team.
Yeah. I like the Nationals. I mean, Rogers has been bad in his 2 starts. I can't lay 160 with that, the way they're playing. The Nats are young. They got guys who are out there looking to improve and hustle and all that kind of nonsense. The intangible kind of crap, right, Gabe? I mean, people got nothing to play for, but these guys got to play because they're young. They got something to prove to ownership and management. Where the O's, like you said, they've been a 500 team, and this pitcher's been bad since he's come over. You got to lay a 160 with them? I can't lay one. No, it's the Nats or nothing.
It really has been a couple of months now for Baltimore, and the odds makers have caught up a little bit, but they're still favorites all the time. So we talked about the Reds. The Reds are four games out only, and you talked about having good pitching. Well, they've got Green on the hill here tomorrow. They need to win these games when he's on the hill. They're in the mix, and especially it's important to win these games against teams that are ahead of you in the standings. And the St. Louis Cardinals are. Reds are minus 124 favorites right now in this game. 8.5. Fetty versus Green.
I'll take the Reds. I grabbed the Reds. I got a minus 120 earlier. I'm going to go Green. He's been hot. I think he got banged up his last start, but coming into that prior, he's been really good, and he was getting a little Cy Young kind of talk. You got the better pitcher on the hill. You've been scrappy. You're, 2 behind these guys, and I'm not high on St. Louis. I think give me the Reds here. We're going 24. Let's go, Cincy.
One of these early 6:40 Eastern time start games. Similarly to as well as the Miami Marlins and the Phillies.
I was going to say, Gabe, Fetty's been bad. He was bad on the road with the White Sox. He had nice – the numbers are inflated because at home he was really good, but on the road he was terrible. So,
Phillies minus 172 favorites against the Miami Marlins tomorrow night. Speaking of the Seattle Mariners, I see to be determined on the hill here. TBD versus Skubal. So they're up against the Cy Young favorite. Skubal sets the total here at 6.5 in this game. The game's a pick 'em, minus 108 right now.
I'll take Skubal out of pick 'em. I don't care who's they throwing. He's good.
I find it interesting, though, that you have Skubal on the hill, and we don't even know who's pitching for Seattle. I'm surprised Detroit aren't favorites.
Well, they're not good. That's why they're not fit. I mean, they're a small fave because he's awesome. That's why it's a 110. I mean, who on the other side? Everybody on that other staff is pretty good pitchers. They all have low ERAs. They're all good whips and stuff like that. Why that makes sense to me. Seattle's a better team, period.
I don't mind betting against good pitchers. Like I said, I just bet against Snell tonight at home, right? Just because the pitcher's good doesn't mean that. Tomorrow. Is it Kirby? The books say TBD. Like. I was just about to look up. Kirby. All right, so Kirby. All right, so the books are sleeping right now. So, well, anyways, the game's a pick 'em. Yeah, like I said, the books are a little slow tonight. I've got 2 books up right now. One of them's got a bunch of OTBs and TBDs up. FanDuel's got pretty much has everything, but they got TBD up for Seattle. You got the Cubs, Assad and Boyd against the Guardians. The Guardians are minus 122. 8.5. Guardians never get much respect from the odds makers, despite the fact that they win as much as they do. Kikuchi goes for the Stros tomorrow in Tampa. Minus 138. We were just talking about the Astros. What do you think of this game?
They need it, but that doesn't mean they're going to win it. I kind of like Shane Baz, but it's probably no action for me. I got nothing on this one. I don't think I'm going to force that game. Just one, I got 5. I got 5. I mean, I got the Rays, I got the Tigers, and we'll hit a couple other ones when we get there further on the board.
There's a team that I sort of. There was a team I was sort of keep waiting for them to sort of flick that switch, but it doesn't seem to be happening. And they lose another close one tonight, the Texas Rangers. It's slipped away. They're done. Okay, they're not. There's too many teams to catch. They're 9 games under 500 now. They can blame injuries. It is what it is. But I didn't think it was a fluke last year that they won. I'm surprised that they're as bad as they were this year.
They started with 7 starting pitchers on the injured list to start the season, so that's bad. And you had a couple guys get banged up during the year in the lineup. Young guys are, who's that? Wyatt Langford and Evan Carter are supposed to be contributors, and listen, they won. They could get a pass. I'll give them a pass this year. See what happens next year. They didn't trade anybody away. They could have traded somebody if they thought they were one-hit young wonders, right? They kept all their guys. They traded Lorenzen to the
No, they have
Royals,
a ton of
but
talent.
other than that,
No one's disputing that, yeah.
Yeah.
And, it'll happen. Well, you win the World Series. I'm not going to come after them either. Neither will their fan base. You get a little bit of leeway. It's just a bad year for them. But where I'm going with this is I think they're a fade now. Like I said, I would take the Red Sox. I think the Red Sox have something going now. Minus 134 tomorrow night. Crawford on the hill.
Crawford. I like Cutter Crawford. I think he's a good, he's a good young kid. I'd probably run line it though. I don't want to lay 140 or 134 is not terrible, but I don't know. I'd probably get greedy and go for the plus money there.
How about this? The Dodgers tomorrow night, minus 125. Gavin Stone on the hill.
Plus 135 on the Red Sox. Run line.
What's that?
Yeah, that's a good.
On the run line?
Plus 135 Red Sox, yeah. That's a good game with Ray. Ray's having a nice season for the Brewers. I think he's the race. Peralta's not the race. I think this guy's the race. But I like Gavin Stone. I do like Gavin Stone. Fair price.
It feels like an under. Feels like an under 8.5.
Yeah, I thought we'd get an over last night with Peralta and Kershaw a couple runs, but these two guys, it's screaming under to be here 8.5. I like it.
The Yankees lost tonight. They got smoked by the White Sox, and people are going to bounce back tomorrow once again with the Yankees. I will not be part of that crew. Cortez on the hill, minus 295, and minus 184 on the run line, minus 1.5, 84 cents.
I look at DK's got 180 run line, 305. Look at a 245 take back. This is criminal. I want to take the White Sox. No way the Yankees can lose 2 in a row, right, Gabe? They can't lose. They're the Yankees. I think
that's what people are going to think.
Game.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thinking. I mean, I'm annoyed at myself for not taking the White Sox today because today I looked at the board. I'm like, the White Sox, Pirates, and Rockies. You go on those. You take 3 of those all big dogs, and if you get two out of 3, it's a great night. If somehow all 3 win, it's a monstrous one. But I'd go back to the well with the White Sox tomorrow. People are going to be all over the Yanks. You can't lay 300. Or even on the run line. Who's doing that? What's first five? They got a first five posted on that? What are you laying on the first five? 180?
Yeah,
what
no.
Is that?
Well, the White Sox have been good in the first 5 innings. That's one thing they've been pretty good at this year. But I agree. I would stay far away from that. And they could. When people, they're not going to lose 2 in a row to the White Sox. No, they could.
Yeah.
Baseball's a streaky sport. And
Yes,
don't forget, the White Sox have been so bad. You saw it tonight. They liked running the score up, right? Hey, we won. And now we're the ones killing the other team. So it's almost contagious. They're going to be in a good mood showing up to the park tomorrow.
Grady Sizemore's got the guys pumped up.
And listen, exactly. A little bit of a charge. Exactly.
9.
They're going to be fired up. A team.
I'm going to take the over there tomorrow.
A team I took tonight, and this is another team that their season was an underachieving season, but it's all about what's their mentality now and the mindset. And the Blue Jays have called up a bunch of guys. They're playing a bunch of young players. And you saw the energy tonight in the clubhouse. And the Angels are kind of just worn out right now. We'll hit this on the other side. But the Blue Jays, I think, are a play-on team against – I think the Angels are a fade and the Jays are a play-on.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fights. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Rockhold. Right hand right back from Mike Perry. Can I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors, and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Folks, what a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Perry on the top. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double tap. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of Angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Level 3 continues. I'm Morency. Sean Higgs kicking with us right now on Sirius XM Channel 159. We were taking a look at the Major League Baseball card. Just to quickly wrap up the other games on the board here tomorrow. Colorado and Arizona. Gomber and Rodriguez. D-backs are minus 250, big favorites. I do mean what I said, though. Gossman pitches well against bad teams. He seems to me, anytime there was a big game and there was pressure on with the Jays, it just didn't, he's got a terrible division record with them. But I think the Jays, their season's kind of done. Whatever. They're like 9 out. So now they're more into just relax. Let's put some numbers up. Let's call some guys up. They look like they were having a lot of fun tonight. And you want teams that aren't like morbid bound, right? Like we were just talking about the White Sox getting a shot in the arm right now recently with the managerial change. You get a win or two, and suddenly the dugout looks like a happier spot. So I think the Jays could be a play on tomorrow. Seeing minus 140 actually for the Jays. Not a bad price. I think Colorado, Arizona, again, big favorites. Pittsburgh, San Diego, again, big favorites. Minus 200, King versus Ortiz. And the Braves tomorrow night, you got Morton versus Harrison. 8.5 is the total. The Braves are minus 120 coming off that 1-0 win tonight. So what do you like tomorrow, Sean, in the baseball, on the baseball card? I know you like the Nationals, you were saying.
Yeah, I say I like the Nats, but I've already bet the Reds. I got the Tigers at the minus 110. I grabbed Arizona run line minus 110. I figured, I had them today, didn't get there. I'll come back with them tomorrow. Gomber's terrible. They're hitting lefties at like a 285 clip. So I think they're going to score runs tomorrow here. Gomber's been bad. Terrible. I think the batting average against on the road is like in a 282 mark or something like that. I like the Padres run line again, especially after our poor performance tonight. They, not a good outing. I think the Pirates, last place. I think they're going to wrap up Skeens for the rest of the season. He might get 1 or 2 starts. His velocity is down. And Padres, talk about playing for. Hello, you got Arizona ahead of you. You got the Dodgers in your sights. Beat up a bad team. Beat up a bad team here. And I like the Giants over the Braves here. Morton hasn't been good down the stretch here. He's 40. He's been around 17 years. That guy's been pitching. I think Father Time's punching the clock here. Harrison hasn't been bad. The Giants are scrappy. I'm going to go here. I got a minus 108. Excuse me. I got a plus 102 and a minus 103 when I grabbed them earlier on the Giants. So probably add the Nats to that, though. I can't. Trevor Rogers, I'm not going to kick him behind the Orioles. I'll probably add the Nats to my card.
One thing I'll say, too, about the Giants tomorrow, we've talked about this. For whatever reason, they win on Tuesday nights at home often. And they're alternate
Taco
jerseys.
Tuesday.
It's their alternate. It's their City Connect alternate
night?
Jersey. Yeah, but I'm telling you, they're like 33-8 type of thing in them. Like, it's not
all right.
But like the players are aware of it. They like wearing them. Like they only wear them Tuesday nights at home. But look it up sometime and you'll see. Oh wow, these guys actually do seem to win a lot on Tuesday nights. It's one of those random things I figured I'd throw it at you.
I can't get behind that because if I miss the other whatever the streak is, they're 11-0 on. Well, did you bet the other 11 games? Because you're going to go
but you know what's good about this?
Today,
it's
then
not,
all of a sudden you're 1-10 and you're down a ton.
I know what you mean. You're jumping in too late. Yeah, I get it. But the thing is, it's not like it's been some like, oh yeah, it's 14 in a row or something. No, just systematically it adds up. They don't win all the time on Tuesday, but they win a lot more when they do. I don't know. Maybe it's like there's different reasons for it. It's the second game of a homestand or this or that. It is a home game. Yeah. But it's one of those weird deals. Like I said, the players are even aware of it. If you punch in like City Connect, Giants, like you'll see stories pop up about it even, and the players talking about it. The Montreal Canadiens have a jersey that they never won in as well. And they actually knew, like the players were aware. They're not dumb. And they basically told them, we don't want to wear these jerseys. Like we never win when we wear them. And they were told, we don't decide like when you wear this. It's already decided like ahead of time by the league what nights you're going to wear these.
The first one that just popped up, April 26, 2023, 19-6 with City Connect jerseys.
Oh, you see? That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
that was last year. That was last year, Sherman. Blake Siebel's walk-off came in their 25th City Connect game.
I'm telling you, if you dig deeper, like it's even a little bit. Like I said, it's really impressive though. Like 36-10 or whatever. It's still very one-sided, bro.
In April of this year, 26-10.
Yeah.
So that was.
See what I'm saying? So to start the year, that's the start of the year.
Yeah.
So it's up to 26-10. See, I'm not crazy, Sean. I know it's. I can't tell you about like this jersey and that jersey. Yeah, but there's something about the Giants Tuesday night home games, bro.
Most recent matches. Let's see what it says here. That's all right. That's funny.
It's like Seinfeld with the Yankees. If you feel good, you're going to play good, right? And you know what's funny? People didn't like the jerseys when they came out. They're like, I don't like them. They're too orange. And then they started winning, and people are like, why don't you wear them all the time since you seem to win most of the time when you wear these? So there was a little addition to that. So before we get you out of here, Sean, NFL preseason football, I went 7-4 in week one. Actually, 8-4. I went 8-4, actually. My bad, not 7-4. Yeah, 8-4. We had a pretty good read on it. We're pretty good preseason bettors, actually. I didn't bet every game, but most of the games I bet side and total. I sort of thought it was correlated. I played a lot of unders. But if you look at the totals this week, a lot of high totals for preseason. 37.5, 38, 36.5.
especially last week where they go like 10-4 over the weekend or something, the totals to the under. But I think you see the adjustment now. I think these coaches or the books kind of know the coaches are going to say, all right, our regulars are going to get some reps here. And next week will be a walkthrough kind of game. So I think this is going to be a more of an action laden week. You see these, I got some of these totals 35.5 and they're like 37s now. Like what's the Falcons? I got 35.5. I got 35.5 for the Colts.
There's 37 now.
36.5 for KC. 35.5 for the Giants. I got the Giants +5. I got the Saints +2.5.
Here's an over.
No,
and I prefer unders in the preseason, but the Commanders and the Dolphins. Totals 37 in that game. The Dolphins have shown they'll play high-scoring games in the preseason. Some teams don't care. It's like the Dolphins don't care, but they'll don't care more in an entertaining way. Like they'll throw the ball and they'll actually play the game.
Yeah, they got backups who played. And I heard when I was waiting back
Skylar Thompson and Mike White.
Yeah, you're talking about the Denver rotation quarterbacks.
Oh, it's great
they
for
put up points
for preseason.
You got to know the.
What has happened? What has transpired here at the First Bank Center here in Denver, Colorado? It wasn't just a big night of fight. It was a big night of memorable moments.
Conor McGregor with us here in Denver, Colorado. Good left hand from Rockhold. Right hand right back from Mike Perry. Could I get a face-off with Conor McGregor, man?
It's an incredible setup here, incredible matchmaking, incredible storytelling. Oh, you had to come here. All these fighters that step in here are warriors and all have my respect. And I'm into this game, yeah. We'll be into this, yeah.
And we are live here in the Maverick Center here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Folks, what a night. It is going to be historic indeed for BKFC 56.
Whoever's the king of violence right here, this is going to be a great fight. Perry on the top. Right hand from Mike Perry. Double check. Who's the king of violence? I am!
Combat fighting in its purest form, bare knuckle fighting in the city of angels.
80 seconds remaining.
We've got the biggest announcement in the BKFC history we're about to make, so let's make that announcement.
What's up, Knucklemania? The notorious Conor McGregor here. Ladies and gentlemen, the huge announcement that I have for you today. Conor McGregor, myself, and McGregor Sports and Entertainment is now an owner of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. Welcome to the big leagues. David Feldman, baby, we did it.
He's now an owner of BKFC with us, and we're going to take this motherfucking thing all the way to the top now.
Sean, before we get you out of here, I know you were in Las Vegas last week. A lot of people were in Vegas for the Bet Bash. You got there just at the back end of it, but you went to see a show, and you went to enter these contests as well. There's been a lot of talk about the Circa Survivor with the $10 million. You've got the Circa Millions as well, which is a standard pick 5 games a week. You've got the Westgate, the Superbook, old school contest that we've done well in the past. So I've got to play that. I've been playing with their money. So I'm gonna be entering that one. The Circa, and listen, Stevens does a great job. He's built an empire, and it's become the hub of the sports betting world in Vegas. Let's just be real. And I'm gonna get in on the Circa Survivor just because $10 million it's a lottery ticket. I have a better chance of winning than an actual real lottery. So I'll take my shot, but I'm more of a fan now. I like the Superbook contest because there's not like 6 or 8 or 10,000 people or like whatever the hell is going to be in the circuit contest. The circuit contest is just so big right now. I like this smaller. I know the prize isn't as big, but I think you've got a better shot of winning with less people in it.
I agree, and I think there's listen, you still get some sharp people getting that because there's less people and a better way for a payday. But you said the circle one, when I was out there, I think there was like 3,000, 3,500 in that already. I got into millions for that and the Westgate. I didn't do the Survivor. Talking to people, you got a lot of guys coming in as groups. So you got like guys with 10, 20, 30 tickets,
they're sharing the money and the picks and stuff.
So why wouldn't you? Why if you got the bankroll, why wouldn't you drop 100,000 in tickets because you could win? It's millions of dollars. It's millions. And then you can do like a rebuy-in. Then you had the rebuy-in kind of stuff too for some of these contests, which makes it doubly hard for everything. But it's the money.
The Superbook has the. I did that last year actually. I think did I get in? Yeah, they got the second half season or whatever.
Yeah. I like.
Had a bad year. The Superbook's been good.
Though, Gabe, you got to just be so good, like 65 or higher, like percent wise. You really got to be an outlier season. It's so tough,
I was part of a team. There was 4 of us, and we finished 8th in the Superbook contest. Awesome. And we went. It was 63%. That's what our percentage was at the end of the year. So it was 63% got us 8th place, and
that's a 6-figure win. Oh, the old days used to be about a 6-figure win, close to it.
No, it was 56,000.
Really? All right. I thought it'd be about 80.
Suck. We missed. If we won the last Sunday night of the year, it would have finished in 4th place. It would have been like 110,000.
Oh.
Yeah, it would have doubled. It would have doubled. It is what it is. And last year too, we won one of those like 3-week contest deals in the contest.
That's
in the Superbook contest. Yeah, we won $10,000. We won $21,000, and it was the same thing. It was like 4 of us, but we got like $6,000 back each or whatever. So I was like, all right. And so I'm sort of playing with their money right now, right?
Yes.
And that's the good thing, Sean. They didn't always used to have that in the old days, all these mini 3-week contests and all that. So it does, like, even if you win that, it's worth it, right? All right, I won $10,000 or $20,000,
I think when I first got in it was just they paid the top 10 back in I think 06, 07. I think it was a top 10. Then they moved it to like top 25 for the Westgate,
Well, the Westgate used to be top 30.
Top 10 or top 20.
It was always top 30? Top 30. Yeah, top 30 used to be the
top
big
25,
thing.
top 30. I thought it was top 10 once.
Why
did I thought it was top 10?
I remember.
You could be right. I thought it was top 10 or top 25.
I lived there.
30 sounds about right.
I lived there, and once when there was the top, it was top 30. I finished like 36, and another time it was top 40, and I finished like literally 42nd. That was the frustrating one.
You're right. It was 30 because one time I was like in the 40 mark. I was like, oh man, I just missed it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, it doesn't pay that much, but it's the principle. You get 6,000 or something on the way out, right? Like,
listen,
it pays for the contest.
Because you see these people win. Like one year, someone's at like 74% or something crazy.
There's always going to be someone that gets super hot. All right, we got to get out of here, Sean. Good stuff. Thanks for joining us.
Take it easy.
I'm going to. We'll keep you posted. But we're going to be in Vegas. We're going to be entering these contests as well. I'm not going to be playing 10. That's the max 10 for the Circus Survivor. I'd like to get 2 out of it, right? So I don't know if I get bounced in one of them. I still have another one in my back pocket. But contest season is here. Let's roll. Other than that, you're on your own. Later.